If you're struggling to get in shape, I'm going to share with you one simple thing that you can do that's going to change your life and finally help you get your fitness back. Stay with me. All right, you know, it doesn't take much effort to find hundreds of different workout programs that you can do. And so much information available, so many programs available. How come so many of us fail to get our fitness goals met?
We've all spent our lifetime developing the habits and routines that have resulted in the physical condition that we find ourselves in today. And in order to change your physical condition, you're going to have to change those habits and routines. Most of the fitness routines we see advertised, like, for example, P90X or Insanity, really require you to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in a blink of an eye. And for most people, that's going to be a very difficult path to success. And the reason it's a difficult path is because it can be very overwhelming to tackle the whole elephant in one bite. Succeeding at any activity does require overcoming difficulties. So let's listen to some experts in the area of success tell us the simple thing that we need to do in order to change our habits and routines so that we can finally succeed at our fitness goals.
One of the things you do with people who are struggling is you make the simple even simpler, because then they can get a toehold. You know, like if they're really barely able to move. I had one client, you know, he had a hard life, man. He was like 85. He'd fallen off a ladder and broken his neck, and they had to permanently fuse it. So he was basically like this. He could hardly move. He was so depressed. He literally couldn't get out of bed. You know, it was awful. And he was in chronic pain because of his broken neck. And so, you know, the first thing I did with him was get him to sit up for like 30 seconds. That was it. That's where he had to start, you know. And after, I worked with him when he was in the hospital. After 2 weeks, he was walking down the hall and able to sit up and read for, you know, 5 or 6 minutes. And he got out of the hospital. He went home. But he had to start with the simplest possible steps. And hey, man, this is the definition of humility in some ways, is that you start progressing where you can start.
Just pick yourself up and go to the gym and work out and eat healthy, right? And that...
no, that's not going to happen.
It's like putting them at the foot of Mount Everest, but the small commitments we keep to ourselves are often really undervalued because they seem so trivial.
Well, one of the really difficult things to learn when you're down and out is how far you're down, because it's humiliating. One of the impediments to people who've really taken a blow in their life is that things have fallen apart around them so badly that where they have to start is humiliating even to consider. The rule, it's a pretty straightforward rule when you want to get back on your feet, and the rule is you have to make the task small enough so that you'll do it, no matter how small that is.
For people watching this, when they wake up tomorrow, what's the first action they can do tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to start renovating their emotional home?
The answer to your question is they got to change the body first. They can do it by lifting weights. Anything that requires you to do something, even for a short time, give you 10 minutes, where you're pushing way beyond your comfort zone. What that does, it makes your mind and your body work together. And then you develop real will.
For an extended period of time, regularly.
Yes. It's more importantly than an extended period of time is the consistency.
When people are very down and out and they decide to make a move forward, in some ways they're facing the whole panoply of problems that confront them in the guise of that single problem, right? It's all lurking behind it, right? It's like, you know, they see the tip of a reptile's tail outside a gigantic closet, let's say, and they look and they think, well, that's just the tip of a tail. What harm can it do me? But it's connected to the whole damn beast. And the advantage to that is that if you make that first step forward, you're actually advancing in the face of all that opposition. The disadvantage is that the first task seems so small that you literally have to be on your knees to be humble enough to lower yourself to take that first step.
If you ask the average person, you want to be happy or sad? What's your vision? They'd say, I want to be happy. You want to be rich or poor? Most people say, I'd like to be rich. Do you want to contribute or make no difference in the world? I want to contribute. Do you want beautiful memories or no memories? I want memories. So there's a vision. Our issue is depth perception. We think it's further away than it is. And because we think it's so far away, Jay, we create patterns and behaviors in our life that perpetually keep it there.
Ooh.
And that's what we do in our life. But what if that's the great lie of life? And what if the truth is that you're one relationship away, one meeting away, one conversation, one podcast, one interview, one new thought, one new emotion, one new tactic or strategy away from completely changing the trajectory of your life. And everyone that you and I know that we both work with, that we're blessed to work with in our lives, the truth is it was one decision, one meeting, one extra rep, one more phone call, one thing they did that changed their trajectory. Then the question then becomes, how do I do it?
How did you start to break those old habits so that you didn't revert back to yourself on the couch, right? It's easy to set a challenge. I want to reach this goal. I want to get through Hell Week. Most of us, even with diet and exercise, can get to a point, and then we tend to revert back to those old habits.
Right. The reason why we go back to old habits is because our goals are too lofty. We're not achieving our goals fast enough. So what happens is, you know what? Oh man, we're very impatient nowadays. For me, it was good. I didn't have a phone. I was out of this world by myself. It was a race against David Goggins. It wasn't a race against, God, I want to look good for this person or that person. It was me. I got to change myself. So for me, if I lost 5 pounds in a week, I got a feeling. I allowed myself to feel proud of that. I didn't look at, I got to lose 106 pounds. I'm like, man, I went from 297, now I'm 292. In 1 week, man, I'm killing it. We're not proud of ourselves for the small accomplishments. What we need is this monstrosity of the thing to happen and say, I did it. Nah, there's a process that you have to go through, and patience is the process. And if we don't have patience, after a week, I haven't lost 30 pounds, man, I'm done. I'm over it. So that's what I found out with people, man. They're not patient enough to realize and to enjoy the moment, not live in it, just enjoy it. There's no finish line in life, but enjoy that moment. Roger that, man, I lost 5. Let me go 10 next week. So that's the whole thing about it. That's how people lose it.
So if you're not one of those people with superhuman self-discipline and willpower who can go from 0 to 60 just overnight, then you can still reach your fitness goals by just getting started, by getting up in the morning and doing one simple thing. Do one squat, one push-up, one sit-up, just one thing, and then do that consistently every day, and then build on it. And soon enough, you'll find yourself a person whose routines and habits result in being physically fit. I hope you found value in this video, and if you do, please subscribe, please share it, and as always, thanks for watching.